back to Toya DTV. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Y'all, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 2, Episode 14. Picks up right where we left off. I'm going to go ahead and apologize to y'all. If you hear some noise, it's a little bit beyond my control. The wind is going crazy outside, so try to ignore that, please. So anyway, we pick up right where we left off, y'all. Tisha is out in the parking lot trying to gather Wanda, okay, her mother. Wanda is determined to get her behind over there to Mel. Now, she said that she was coming from a mother's perspective, and I'm still sitting here saying to myself, how do you feel like you have the right to, out of one side of your face, talk about Mel, but on the other side of your face, you want to have compassion and show her worth and her value? Like, it doesn't work that way. So Wanda need to fall on back. Anyway, Tisha is getting livid. This is the most vocal we've seen Tisha with her mom, period. Wanda has made it to Mel's truck. Tisha is there at the truck too. Leave Mel alone. This has nothing to do with you. This is their marriage. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Her mom's, I want her to know what's in the blogs. Wanda is nosy, messy, all the above. And she know it. You know, she know it. And Tisha is just like, she's completely going in on her mom. Like, no, this is between a husband and wife. This is their marriage. It has nothing to do with you. Keep your nose out of it. You don't know if the blogs is true. You don't know what's going on. Stay out of it. I mean, it is what it is, because at the end of the day, what can Tisha do to control Wanda? Nothing. Nothing can control Wanda. They go back and sit down at the table, and the mood has changed. Everybody, you know, is back at the table except Mel and Destiny. Destiny left with Mel. The mood has changed. Of course, has to mention, she has to say something to Martell about, well, she want to know if the baby situation is true. She want to know. And Martell, instead of him just ignoring her or whatever, he was like, well, you know what happens when you have sex? It's like, what? He was like fueling the fire at that point. It's like he said the wrong thing. Marsau was like, I can't remember what he said, but she's like, and you shouldn't be saying nothing because you in the same boat. And that's when Tisha's like, hold on. Her mom will talk trash to anybody, including her too. Marsau was like, no, I'm just trying to ignore you. Which, you can't ignore somebody like that. You can try to, but it's like, it is cringy. Kimmi's like, okay, this is about Jalen. Tisha's mom is like, well, since we putting things on the table, Kimmi is just trying to get the party back focused on Jalen, and so they can have a somewhat decent time now that Mel is gone, and hopefully the drama's gone, or, you know, Martell and his feelings is at a low now that she's gone. No. Wanda keeps trying to talk over Kimmi, keeps telling her, nope, I'm gonna talk when I get ready to talk. You can't stop me from talking. Blah 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 blah. Y'all, it was exhausting. It was exhausting, and I felt bad for Jalen. After a while, Kimmi is like, you know what? It is what it is. I tried. I had it all planned out in my head, but somebody without an invite came and messed up the entire event. So they got up and they left. And it saddened me to see that they actually left. They didn't cut the cake. She walked away with the whole cake. Next, we see Marsau and Kimmi meet up. They are just kind of discussing, you know, what went down at the graduation ceremony. And Marsau is 100% accurate. He's like, you know what? We can't excuse what Wanda does. All we can do is try to correct it. We can't just sweep it under the rug. We need to talk about it. We need to address the issues. So he volunteers to talk to Tisha and Wanda for Kimmi. And Kimmy's like, oh, okay, all right, since you want to do it, you know, since you want to do it. I don't blame her for just being like, okay, so y'all family, we family, but since y'all are like close family, I'll let you handle that. So cool, he took it on. Marsau said something very important in his confessional. He said that Tisha needs to either check her mom or keep apologizing for the rest of her life. Honestly, I feel like even if she try to check her mom, it ain't gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna change because her mom is not fazed by anyone. So she can say all she wants to say, just like at the table she was trying to calm her down for like attacking Marsau about saying he's in the same boat and all of that, and it was in one ear and out the other. Wanda don't care. Next we see Destiny and her friend Jessica. They are planning out her get out and vote event, how they want the spacing to be. They are actually going to be outdoor. Destiny wants to incorporate something for the children, so everyone's going to come in costume. It's pretty much to get the black vote out there to the polls, get everybody informed, get everybody excited, get everybody geared up to go make that change happen. When they're finishing up, Martell pulls up, and Martell apologizes for his behavior at Jalen's graduation party, and it was real big of him. Like, okay, cool, he realized that his emotions got the best of him. At that point, Destiny's kind of shocked, like, what, he's apologizing? Okay, he's turning over a new leaf. Okay, so they start talking, and she tells him about the event, and he basically, like, okay, I'm down. Cool, I'll be there. Is Mel gonna be there? He wants to see Mel, y'all. Which is kind of sad because he's still in love with her. But he messed it up. Destiny and Martell was talking, and Martell feels like Mel should have checked Wanda at the event. I honestly feel like he didn't give her time to check her. If she wanted to, he was already there. But I think Wanda just tries to be respectful to Wanda regardless of what she say and do. Her energy right now is not on none of this beef stuff. She just don't want to be around it. She don't want to deal with it. She don't want to talk about it. So when he said that, Destiny's like, well, the problem is you need to stop trying to do tit for tat. If you're the man of the house, you need to lead by example. You need to acknowledge your wrong. Stand in your wrong. Say what it is. Make changes and move forward. And people quote this a lot when Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. Martell said the realest thing ever out of his mouth. I ain't ready to go high yet. I respect him for that. At least he being real about it. So Martell also pointed out something. Y'all women. I'm realizing that Martell likes to group all women together at this point. Y'all women feel like y'all can stone a man to death, but then turn around and want, when it comes to business and jobs and opportunities, y'all want to be on the same level. Y'all want to be paid like a man. To him, it's like a double standard. The way I feel about that, to be honest, I don't want to be treated like a man. I don't want to be treated like a man, when it comes to finances, because I'm still a human being. Why do I have to make less because I was born female? If we're doing the same job, why do I need to make less? That's equality. Come on now. So Destiny just puts it out there. Hey, your past is your past. What you can do is focus on your future. No more reacting, no more temper, and move forward in that way. And, I like that their friendship is genuine, where she can keep it real with him and he actually hears something that she's saying, because Martell don't seem to hear everybody. Next, we see Marsau and Tisha. Tisha wants her mommy basically at all of the family events because she's family. And I'm thinking to myself, that would be cool if it was your event. If it's not your event, why are you bringing your mom to somebody else's event? That is common sense. If you didn't ask, could you invite somebody? That means you're not bringing nobody but your husband who was invited. Marsau breaks the news to her that, you're not going to really have to worry about, when it comes down to whether you can invite her anymore, because Kimmi has sanctioned her from future events. Oh gosh, I just said events like Tisha do. Events. Oh gosh, no. No, it does something to me when she say events. Okay, I'm sorry. So Tisha is not understanding that her mom is the problem. Tisha's not understanding that her mom is the main problem, and the problem that follows her everywhere she goes. So Marsau is trying to break it down to her, and she's getting defensive. Okay, well, Kimmi don't want my mom at none of her events. Okay, I won't be inviting Kimmi to none of my events. Marsau was very wise in this particular scene, even though I felt like he had to talk to her like she was a teenager for her to get it, for her to understand it. He said that she has been going through life overlooking everything that her mom does, overlooking things that most people don't overlook. So at this point, Tisha's starting to feel attacked. Everybody thinks I'm wrong. Everybody thinks I'm wrong. Well, Tisha, you've been wrong this entire time we've been watching you on TV. Everything you've done, you've been wrong about it. You went to Mel's event, you were not invited. You got kicked out. So when it comes, like he said, when it comes down to invites, you make bad decisions. You weren't invited, so you show up. Your mom wasn't invited, so you invite her to show up. Like, what? Tisha needs some friends in the same boat she's in. Tisha needs friends that are needy like her. She keeps saying she wants this sisterhood with Kimmi. Kimmi is grouping her with family, and Kimmi likes her family at a distance. Marsau also tells her, don't make a permanent decision off of a temporary issue. And she's trying her best not to, but you know, she still has the podcast coming up. So, and he's like, do not mention this on the podcast. Oh, I'm not. I know how to be professional. Well, honey, apparently you don't, or you let your emotions get the best of you. Unprofessional. We see Melody and Marcus. He is at her new house, and he is helping her put down some carpet, or either rip up some carpet. I don't know which one it was, but anyway, they get to talking, and she's just, Mel is so miserable right now with dealing with Martell and this co-parenting for kids, that she's actually considering getting full custody of the kids, because at this point Martell is doing underhanded things and saying underhanded things to the children. He mentioned that Uncle Marcus likes boys, and even if he does, why would you tell children that? That is not children's business at all. And it's sickening that he would even use his children as a pawn to, it's almost like to either get at Marcus or get at Mel or get at both of them. But he say he love his kids. So now I'm starting to question that. Because if you love your kids, you would never use them as a pawn to hurt somebody. He wrong for that. Anyway, she tells him about the Destiny's event, and he's coming. Next we get to the podcast, y'all. Destiny and Tisha are there. I did not like anything about Tisha of what she had on, the whole get up. Like, I didn't like any of it. It was very teenish to me, like 13, like the youngest of teens. It was very weird. I'm sorry. I don't understand the whole theme, but I feel like if there was a theme, she would have kind of told them about it. I'm confused, but I didn't like it. Anyway, so they started talking a little bit about, motherhood and everything for the podcast. They mentioned, how Jalen had his ceremony, and, how she's been trying to celebrate for the simple fact that he didn't have a graduation. And Destiny mentioned until the hurricane came through. And I guess that did something for Tisha, I guess that made Tisha say, well, you know what? All professionalism out the window. The next time I get to really question her about something, it's going to be on this podcast right now. Tisha makes emotional decisions. And when you're running a business, you can't do that. Like, it's so unprofessional, and it's a turn off. Like, at one point, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm watching the show. I feel a certain way about Tisha, but let me just listen to her Mommy Business podcast and see if there's anything in there that changes how I feel about her. This episode made me not even want to listen to her podcast, to see was there anything there that we're missing in the show. And then you could tell Kimmi didn't want to talk about it. But when you're able to just go off on a whim and you say, well, since it's fresh on my mind, I'm going to go ahead and ask you what it is I want to ask you. Like, don't make that a part of your podcast. Like you said, you should have talked to her afterwards. It's so childish, and it's so unprofessional. It's so wrong. because she's like catching her off guard. She got so much to say, but she's already coming in with the attitude about it when she was wrong. So Destiny's just sitting in the middle as they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, she's just, Destiny and her wig wants to leave. And I don't blame her. I probably would have gotten up and left if I was her. Because that's just how I roll. Like I said, ain't many people like me on this earth. But in the midst of all of that, I would have put up the church finger, walk my way right on up out of there. That's pretty much how the podcast ends. I mean, they go back and forth forever. It was horrible. We are now, at the event, Lift Your Vote, Destiny's event for to get the black votes and everything, her event. Okay, so everybody shows up. Martell shows in his costume. He has the kids with him, and all the men are kind of gathered, and they're planning out another cabin event. I think it's an annual thing. And they're talking about, okay, well, when can we do it? Because we know you have the kids and all of that. Some parts of Marsau disgust me. Marsau was like, well, I'm trying this new thing called fatherhood. Apparently, you watch the kids while your wife leaves and goes somewhere. It's so not funny to me. You created kids and you're afraid to watch your own children. You didn't even know that one of your children was allergic to peanut butter. It's ridiculous. If something was to happen to Tisha, you would probably be like, hey, Wanda, take them. Like, that's ridiculous to me. It's sick. If you're a father, you need to be there. Be aware, at least. Dang. So anyway, they're talking about that, and they all laugh about that, and somebody is walking up in the same costume as Martell, but it's blue, and it's a little more organized. Who is it? It is Melody's brother. He shows up, and he wants to talk to him. So they step aside and start talking. Well, he mentions that his focus is on the kids, and that this whole thing is what Mel wanted. Mel wanted to be a star. Mel wanted to be on TV. Mel wanted all of that. And to be honest, I feel like she deserves all of that. Mel has a face for TV. The voice I had to get used to, but she has like positive energy to me. She has positive influence of having businesses, being a black millionaire. All of that speaks positivity to me. So if somebody's gonna be on TV, let them represent good. So I'm with it. And he says that his focus is on the kids. So Marcus says that, well, do you know what your kids told Troy? They told Troy, ask Troy, will you be our daddy? We don't want to go home. Martell was bossing up. Martell was about to go in on Marcus out there in the parking lot, not caring that his kids there or whatever, but he did send them inside the building. But he told them, don't you ever say that again, or I'm going to beat you down in this parking lot. For real, not even joking. And he was like, say it one more time and I'm going to beat you down. Okay. Was it just me, or did Marcus look a little... Marcus did look a little shook to me. He was like, no, what you're going to do is you're going to walk away. You're going to walk away like you're doing now. He stood his ground, but to me, it seemed like he was a little intimidated, which, I mean, it is what it is. It seemed like to me he was a little intimidated. But Martell went and got in the confessionals, and he was just saying, like, Marcus has not been around. Apparently him and Mel has been married for 14 years, and they've only seen him a few times. So I kind of understand where Martell is coming from on that. Like, you pop up and you have so much opinion, but you only know what she's telling you. And apparently Martell and Marcus don't have that type of relationship. I mean, if you cheat on his sister, all respect is probably gone, but respect you enough for the kids. Because of that, Martell is not trying to hear him. He's not trying to hear anybody. He feels like, hey, I'm the man, I'm the husband, I'm the father, I'm the one sacrificing, and I don't need anybody telling me what to do, how to do it, because I'm grown. Y'all, this episode was crazy. Nobody can control Wanda, okay? Wanda is gonna be Wanda till the end of time, okay? Some of y'all here for it. But y'all, that is it for this episode. I will see y'all next time. Toya DTV.